So let me say it one more time. If you're not happy in America, leave. Just leave. And I agree with that. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Pressley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to America First, the channel where we speak truth, stand for our flag, and defend the greatest country on earth without apology. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because what we do here is cut through the noise and expose the radical agendas that threaten our nation. Today, we're talking about a clip that deserves your attention. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, a man known for his plain-spoken honesty and unwavering love for this country, just said what millions of us have been thinking. He called out the Squad, Representatives Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, and he did it without mincing words. Kennedy made it crystal clear, these four congresswomen don't love America. In fact, they seem to resent it at every turn.
There are a lot more important issues in front of the United States Congress and the American people than who tweets what to whom. So let me say it one more time. I thought in the president's original tweet, I thought it was a poor choice of words. I think I know what the president meant, and he clarified later and said, look, if you're not happy in America, leave. Just leave. And I agree with that. But his original articulation of that concept, in my opinion, fell short of the mark. Number two, frankly, I don't know why the president felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Pressley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the Squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. You know, when your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. I mean, just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the Squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave. It's a free country, and I agree with that assessment.
Now, let's put this in context. This all came after President Trump posted a tweet that the media and Democrats immediately tried to twist into some sort of racist narrative. They want you to believe that telling someone to leave the country if they hate it so much is offensive. But it's not. It's common sense. Senator Kennedy even acknowledged that the president's original wording could have been better, but the message, the heart of it, is absolutely right. If you hate America, if you constantly bash its values, insult its people, and try to tear down its institutions, why are you here? Kennedy said it directly. He said, they hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling it evil and racist. Let that sink in. These are people elected by Americans to serve in Congress, and they're using that platform to demonize the very country that gave them that opportunity. Omar, a refugee brought here from a war-torn country, now spends her days telling us how broken and racist this nation is. Ocasio-Cortez pushes socialist policies and undermines law enforcement at every chance. Tlaib constantly spews divisive rhetoric, and Pressley isn't far behind. These women are not interested in uniting America. They want to fundamentally transform it. Open borders, socialized medicine, higher taxes, government control over every aspect of your life. That's their agenda. That's the vision they are trying to push through by pretending to be champions of the oppressed, when in reality, they're playing identity politics and sowing division. Senator Kennedy went even further. He pointed out that arguing with these people is a waste of time, saying, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. He's absolutely right. Engaging with them doesn't elevate the conversation. It drags it into the gutter. That's exactly what they want. They thrive on outrage. They weaponize victimhood. And they rely on the media to amplify their every word while censoring those who dare to push back. Kennedy then made a powerful political observation. He said that if he didn't know better, he'd think the squad were GOP plants because the damage they're doing to the Democratic Party is massive. And again, he's right. These women don't speak for mainstream Americans. They speak for the radical fringe. They cheer for illegal immigration. They call socialism progress. They demonize capitalism. They treat abortion as a virtue. And they oppose allies like Israel while embracing anti-American rhetoric. That's not what the average American wants. That's not what hardworking families, small business owners, veterans, and everyday patriots believe. But the Democrats, out of fear or complicity, let these extremists lead the narrative. They've surrendered to the squad. And that's a mistake that will cost them dearly. Let me tell you something. I don't care what color you are, where you came from, or how you vote. If you live in this country and benefit from its freedom, you ought to have some respect for it. You don't have to agree with everything, but when your entire political brand is based on tearing America down, that's not activism, that's subversion. And no, we're not saying these women don't have a right to speak. This is America. They can say what they want. But that same freedom gives us the right to call them out, to challenge their views, to say, you're wrong, you're dividing us, and you're ungrateful for everything this country has given you. Kennedy's remarks were not just a defense of Trump, they were a defense of sanity, of patriotism, of common sense. He didn't grovel. He didn't play the politically correct game. He spoke plainly. These congresswomen are fools, and they are actively trying to reshape America into something unrecognizable. It's time for more Republicans to follow his lead. It's time to stop apologizing for loving our country. It's time to reject the lies of the left and stand firm in our belief that America is a force for good, not evil. We're not perfect. No nation is. But we have done more for freedom, prosperity, and human dignity than any other country in human history. So let's be clear. This isn't just about Kennedy. It's about whether we're going to keep letting radicals like the squad dictate our national conversation, or whether we're going to rise up and say, enough. You don't get to destroy this country from within while pretending you're the victim. If you agree with that, if you believe in truth, in liberty, in America, then I want you to join this movement. Hit that like button, subscribe to America First, and share this video with every patriot you know. Let's flood the internet with reality. Let's show the left that the silent majority is silent no more. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Senator Kennedy, for standing up. And may God bless all of you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.